It's the Arizona Golf Association Rule of the Month. When it comes to talking rules, there's none better than longtime USGA Rules official and Arizona Golf Association Executive Director, Ed Gowan.
I guess it's time for another Rule of the Month. This rule is stroke play, Rule 3.3. Very much different from the match play we've talked about before. Stroke play is one player against many, as opposed to one against one or one against two in match play.
Your number one job in stroke play is to turn in a scorecard with the correct total score. I know that might sound obvious, but there's levels to these bezels.
You don't keep your own scores. Someone else keeps your scores in stroke play. Let's say we have Johnson, Rahm, and Thomas at the first tee. The starter will say, Mr. Johnson, keep Mr. Rahm's card. Mr. Rahm, you'll keep Mr. Thomas's card. Mr. Thomas, you'll keep Mr. Johnson's card. And then at the end of the round, you will sign the scorecard if the scores are correct, and your person keeping it will attest it.
The attest is key. That person is your notary. They've got to sign it.
It's your responsibility if he doesn't. So you are responsible for turning in a correct scorecard. And once those cards are returned to the committee and the players leave the scoring area, those scores are final.
So remember, in stroke play, an attested and signed scorecard is very important. Screw it up and you'll pay for it.
So what happens when you turn in a wrong scorecard? Let's talk about two examples. 1957, the Women's Open at Winged Foot, Jackie Pung won the event, but she signed for a wrong score that was lower than what she had actually made. She was disqualified. Betsy Rawls became the champion. The opposite case happened in '68 when Roberto DiVincenzo made a mistake and signed for a score higher than he had made. He would have been tied with Bob Goalby. There would have been a playoff the next day, but instead he finished second, one stroke behind, because you can accept a higher score. A lower score is a disqualification. Another aspect of stroke play that's different from match play is that because it's all total strokes, when you're playing from a wrong place, let's say you're dropping from a yellow penalty area and you use two club lengths when you're supposed to drop back on a line, such that your likely score on the hole would be different, that would be considered a serious breach. A similar situation when a player tees off from a wrong set of tees. Let's say you're playing from the white tees, but Charlie goes up and plays from the blues. Well, it's longer, so it's a harder hole. That shouldn't make a difference. Yes, it does. Everybody has to play the same golf course. And unless you fix that before teeing off on the next hole, you'd be disqualified.
Another cool thing with stroke play is how disagreements are resolved democratically and with honor.
Let's say there's a disagreement between two players. I say I made 4, you say I made 5. So we get to the end of the round, we go to the committee and we say, here's the situation, and let's say the facts aren't quite clear. If it's 1 against 1, and no third party is present, tie goes to the player. If there's a third party, even a spectator that said, no, you're wrong, Charlie's right, tie goes to Charlie. 2-1 beats 1-1. One of the reasons you will see tour players call for an official almost every time is just the concern that they don't want to get to the end of the round with a wrong score. They want exactly the right score by the rules, which is really a testament to the great game of golf. Because in stroke play, it's all about honor, and those people have more honor than any other sport.
This has been your Arizona Golf Association Rule of the Month.